Got your stomach cuckoo clock. Just a little help. She had a pellet in her house.
Good morning. Let's call the meeting to order. Today is January the 10th. We're here for our first regular meeting of the new year. We're going to stand for Brother Glenn to give us a prayer and pledge of allegiance.
Father, we thank you again for this day and for another year and another opportunity, Lord, to work. Lord, build this great nation. We ask you to be with this city, this council, and all those who are here and help us put on the mind of Christ. We do what is that good and acceptable and perfect will. We thank you for these things, Father, in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, we got the table closer to the wall. All right. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Here.
Mr. Pollak?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Wolf?
Here.
Mr. Wells?
Here.
Right, thank you. All right, next up is citizens' comments. Floor is open for those of you who have want to share a citizen's comment. Come on.
Mayor, council, I don't know how you did it, how much you bribed DOT, but to get the 35-mile-an-hour speed limit down to Sunstop, that's kind of amazing. Now, if we could just get Lieutenant Williams to turn his printer on and burn it up a little bit more, we could sell everything. But anyway, thank you, that was great.
Thank you, sir. Any other citizens' comments? Okay. Excuse me. Consent agenda, we have one set of minutes. There's no corrections or additions. Is there a motion to accept by consent?
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda by consent.
I'll second it.
We have a motion second. Is there any opposition? Let the record reflect. Motion passes 5-0. Okay, under our regular agenda, Doug, we'll start that out with you.
All right, Mr. Mayor, Happy New Year, everybody. I know I've seen you a lot, but we're back in action and ready for 2023. We got a few items that we're going to close up for 2022, and the first of which on the agenda here is our Employee of the Month. So this time, it's my honor to present the Employee of the Month, so let me get up here. We have started this program this past year, and it's been very well received by the staff and the employees of Mexico Beach, and we are very excited that we've had great turnout for our reporting and our people that are recommending people to be announced as Employee of the Month, and this is our Employee of the Month for December. So it is my honor, and Tammy's, I'll speak for her a little bit too, because she works with her as well, but Julie Danaher, she's our executive assistant here in City Hall, and she has been selected as Employee of the Month for the month of December. So if you could come up for a minute. She does not like attention. And I've been in the doghouse since she got nominated and won the award, but we'll get past it. But I tell you what, I wrote it in a nice card here, but I'll tell you to everybody in person, the City of Mexico Beach, we couldn't do half of what we do without her. She fills the hats of everything from the IT director that helped get these cameras installed to chasing down money for FDOT reimbursement to just everything that you ask her to do, and she does it with a smile on her face, except for right now. But she has just been a blessing for us, and I was so excited to see her get Employee of the Month. So what we have for you, Julie, is a nice card and a pen for you.
Thank you.
There's a day off that you're not going to be able to take until 2025.
That's what I figured.
And then a beautiful plaque for Employee of the Month. And if I could get Tammy to come up, or you're going to take the picture? You got to get in here too. Oh, Carly's volunteering. Watch out. That's another one that doesn't like being in front of the camera. It's Tammy.
Hey, I told her if I had to get up here, she had to be there. So. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And like you said, I'm not good at this, so I'm just gonna say thank you very much. I appreciate it greatly, more than you know. Thank you.
It's always an exciting time. Now, every one of the employees that are nominated for Employee of the Month will be voted on by their peers for Employee of the Year, and we'll bring that back at a later date, and the name will go on the plaque out front. So thank you guys for the opportunity to help present this to all the staff.
We thank them all. Every one of them. All right, department report.
Yes, sir. Today I've decided, with the request of Glenn Davis, our utility director, to come up and speak at the podium. He has passed out some information in front of you related to smoke testing. We want to make sure the public's aware of what's coming up, as well as the council. And Glenn Davis, the utility director.
Good morning.
Morning, Glenn.
We've been working with DEP on, part of this smoke testing is mandated by DEP in reference to some sanitary sewer overflows we've had to try to address potential problems. The plan is to begin smoke testing our lateral, our main, start on the west end of the town, on the south side doing the commercial. Initially, as it says in the report, they give you before the start of the tourist season, not to interfere with the tourism industry, and also to target those areas most probably that were affected by Hurricane Michael. Work our way up the south side and try to get to it. A lot of it is going to depend on what we find, how much repairs we do, if we can do the repairs in-house. Timetable, schedule for completion is the end of April. DEP's been very willing to work with us as long as we keep them informed. Got a handout on the smoke test stuff itself. Got a, what we always call the MSDS sheet. They call it a safety data sheet now. But if any of you have any questions, I'll try to address them.
How long do you think this will take? Roughly.
We've got 4 months, Mr. Mayor, and I'm hoping that we get a head start. We're going to start next week. Florida Rural Water is going to help us.
Okay.
It's going to be a fairly extensive job, again, depending on what we find.
Okay.
DEP asked us to do an aggressive time frame for that, but they have been very willing to extend it should we have run into problems. So we hope that we get it done by April.
Okay.
We'll put this out on social media to make everybody aware, so if they don't see black smoke coming up out of some houses. And
That's gonna be key.
yeah, we'll advertise it on the streets as we work through social media and our website for a map. But we'll make sure we, just like Jerry said.
The last time we had most of the city people, cause they smoking. I mean, it was just coming out of the house everywhere. But and then you walk outside, you think, but people need to know that we just smoke this for sewer.
We'll advertise.
We have people around in the neighborhood, when these people get panicked and they can tell them that would probably help.
We will notify ahead of smoke testing. One of the things to remember, if you've got smoke coming in your house, it's a benefit to know that you potentially have sewer gases coming in your house too. So it not only benefits us, it benefits the public.
Yeah, I agree.
Any questions?
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. Moving on, excuse me, item number 3 is ordinance 804. We will, that's a change in the parking ordinance. Is there a motion to read by title only?
I'll make the motion to read ordinance 804 by title only.
Second.
And a second. This is the second reading. Before we read, is there open the floor for discussion? Any comments? Yes, sir.
Mayor, Council, you know, I know what the intent of this is. It's so we get more restaurants in with the parking. The problem I have with that, before the hurricane, you guys who were here, you couldn't park as it was. You couldn't get the Toucans, you couldn't get the Killer Seafood, you couldn't get anywhere because there wasn't enough parking. And now we have all this development coming in. You know, there's a whole bunch. The apartments are going to start renting. That's 215 right there. 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. You got the townhomes. You got the other homes going in. There's going to be nowhere for anybody to park. You're trying to cut it down some. And, you know, most of the towns around here have more than we have. They have an element that's missing. They have parking for employees. So many parking spots for employees. I think you should just leave it where it is right now, because you have no employee parking. There's just going to be nowhere to go. I don't know why you're doing this besides trying to get businesses in with that limited parking. And as you all know, we only got 5% of land in Mexico Beach for development. You know, the only way we can add more restaurants with more spaces is some of these new developments that are going in to hold them accountable to put in some commercial space. That's pretty much it. But, I mean, that's how I feel about it. I think the parking before was terrible, and it's going to be worse. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, there's a motion and a second to read, please read.
Ordinance 804, an ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, amending the Land Development Code to modify Section 6.03.00 to revise the parking requirements for eating and drinking establishments, providing for codification, repealing ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict, providing for severability and an effective date.
Okay, any further discussion from the table?
I have a question, Doug. How is this driven? I mean, is it somebody that came to us or something we looked at? How did it come up?
So it came up from a developer review, coming in asking some questions because it was putting some constraints on them. Some of the places were trying to build something with a couple levels that might have a second kitchen, or it was taking up more floor space for some of the amenities that they had to provide, and it was just causing them to have more and more parking. And as we were limited, I don't believe that anybody noticed that it had the square footage thing on there before, because it hadn't really had a new one built in a long time. So the discussion started at that point, where we just reviewed surrounding areas to see if there was a solution to go with back to, it had always been 1 per floor, and the square footage thing hadn't been an issue because there hadn't been a new restaurant.
So when they did the math on their permit or whatever, they found that square footage would be a negative thing for them.
It started to be a deterrent for those folks that were wanting to come and do something in Mexico Beach because they couldn't meet it had a small enough lot as it was, there was no off-site parking available, you couldn't use anything on 98. So they started to ask why we had that in there, and that's where it started.
Yeah, I did some math too, and you take a 1,000 square foot building, and nationwide, if you look on anything talking about building restaurants or thinking about building or whatever, it basically breaks down about half of it, half of that 1,000 square feet is used for kitchen, storage, or restaurants. So the remainder is about a half. 500,000 square feet. Do we have a square footage number that we require from the city that says for 500 square feet, each person needs 15 square feet?
No, there was a ratio about the 100 square foot for like a table with 4 seats was kind of a ratio. I don't know of anything other than that.
There is a national average, okay, for restaurants, and it's between 12 to 15 square feet. So if you do the math on that, 500 square feet divided by 15 square feet per person, you'd come up with about 33 people. 33 people divided by 4 gives you about 8.5 parking spaces. And obviously I don't need to explain what the 500 is, only 5 parking places. So is this a one thing that we're worried about this developer, or is this something that's really a problem?
I can speak for myself from noticing that other people that would like to do some stuff here are having constraints on what they're allowed to bring into the city. And that's what slowed them down and had them looking at other places. It's not just one person, there's several businesses that are trying to build something back here in Mexico Beach and can't make it work with the constraints of that parking requirement.
So more than one person has came to you and had the same?
Yes, sir. And the engineers that are their project managers that are trying to design it have produced the problems. It's an issue for most.
Yeah. I talked to the fire chief a little bit about capacities, and you know, if you use the 15 square feet and you come up with 33, I mean, is there a capacity issue maybe we should be looking at instead of the square footage?
That capacity number would be far higher than what the number of tables that you would have to have because of people in standing room and things of that nature, so.
Sure, requiring more parking.
And the county does the fire marshal for that. I don't know if you want to speak to that, Sandy, about the capacity.
It's the fire marshal, the state fire marshal that basically sets capacities in buildings, but then restaurants are, yes, places where people can gather, but as Doug said, in most cases in restaurants, people are sat down rather than standing up, like, you know, or crammed together like we are here for a meeting as such. So capacity within a restaurant is normally lower than it would be for a meeting room or
Sure.
scenario. So I don't believe that the number of people allowed in that building would surpass, you know, the parking even at the lower level. But I haven't done the math, therefore I can't stand by that. But I would be surprised if there was a significant difference between the two.
That's a question I have.
Anything else?
I've got a few. I was trying to find some examples. One of the things we talked about was maybe we should go 1 per 100 of seating space instead of floor space, because it's just encouraging people to make small kitchens. Currently, everybody's trying to maximize seating, so we're making these small kitchens where we can't keep up with our seating anyway. So Killer Seafood, I mean, food trucks are different, so I don't know that this really affects them. So who else in town is there to use as an example? The only one I can find is Mango Marley's. It's a terrible example because they have the business district parking. But just looking, let's move that restaurant somewhere. Based on tables, they need 37 spots. Based on square footage, they need 34. So I don't really buy the argument that we're creating more of a parking problem by doing this, because I think actually the table side creates more parking than the square footage side, just using that example. So.
So, I was one that was surprised that was in there. And the reason, in our commercial area, there's been nothing new built here. Nothing. The only thing has been the buildings that have been used commercially have been retrofitted for whatever type business they could fit in there. So when you start thinking of what happened from the storm and you start looking at someone actually wanting to put something new up, these types of things surface because they've never been addressed in the past in terms of new construction. So all of our commercial lots, the size, or those that are left, and the size of them are really no different than many of the houses that no one talks about, but there are times in the year that parking's a problem for a house, same as it is for any other business. Guy rents a house, there's 5 cars, 2 places to park, 5 cars show up, we're dealing with the same issue. So I just think that if we make it simple, we make it where everyone understands it, and you know, it's just I don't see any reason to keep it in there. I think it serves us better, and if we don't want to have that quaintness in that part of our city, it's just going to parking for businesses / whether they be rental homes or be commercial establishments. There's times that we're just going to have to deal with that.
Is there an opportunity to maybe put something in there that, I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff up against the wall. I mean, if you have a requirement 8 parking places, you eliminate that to 7, you make 2 of them a golf cart type thing. I mean, if we're gonna make changes, is there an ability to go a little bit deeper than just saying, let's get rid of this 100 square foot? Because the same game, I believe the same game can be played. You take your footage from your storage, kitchen, restrooms, and you start to shrink it to increase that number.
Well, I don't think one parking, 4 chairs, I don't think, if by eliminating that, I don't think that's abnormal in anywhere else you go to find that as a criteria for parking. I think Carly did, I believe you talked about some work, research you did, that was a fairly common process being used.
Right, in the surrounding communities, that was common. It's both similar in the surrounding communities, what Mexico Beach has existing and what is proposed. It's not, neither option is an extreme. That being said, we recognize that those surrounding municipalities aren't Mexico Beach.
Right.
But most of those have 1x4 with square footage,
Some, yes.
not single, just 1x4.
Good, thank you. All right, we have a second reading. Is there further discussion? Okay. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 804?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 804.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollak,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Wolf,
No.
Mr. Welly.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on is number 4 is ordinance 805.
Yes, sir. Ordinance 805, I also have on the phone Debbie for any clarification questions. In front of you, you'll notice, I'm sorry, I can't.
Excuse us. Thank you. Go ahead.
Ordinance 805, I have Debbie on the line as well, in case we have some clarification questions for second reading. If you'd like to start, Mr. Mayor.
Do what now?
I didn't know if you were going to read by title only first. I jumped ahead.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to read excuse me, ordinance 805 by title only?
Make a motion to read ordinance 805 by title only.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there a discussion? Anyone have any comments about 805? Just some budget revisions. Okay, no? All right, please read.
Ordinance 805, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the amendment for the appropriation of funds and adoption of the amended budget for the fiscal year 2022-2023 for the general and sewer fund, providing for severability, providing repealed parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. All right, is there, any Debbie, you on the phone?
I am.
Okay, are there questions concerning or any explanation you want to give for this, what is really a relatively simple budget amendment for funds? If you want to explain it, or is there questions that we have for Debbie?
I can quickly explain it if you want. So the one for the general fund is $5,650, and that's for use of impact fees for the mobile bathroom, Parks and Rec impact fees. And then the sewer one is for an $86,000 insurance payout for lightning strike on lift stations, and the other one is use of impact fees for lift station improvements on the Nook and 14th Street for $25,600 and $49,500. So it's fully funded, and it's not by tax dollars. It's by insurance proceeds and impact fees.
Okay, any questions? Straightforward, everybody good? Thank you, Debbie. Is there
All right,
a
you're
motion?
welcome.
Is there a motion to approve ordinance 805?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 805.
I second.
Have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Mr. Welly?
Yes.
Thank you. Next is ordinance 806. Comp plan amendment. Carly, you want to give us some background on that?
Of course. So this is a proposed large-scale comprehensive plan text amendment to the comprehensive plan to add Chapter 10, a property rights element, to the plan in accordance with Florida statute. In front of you, you have a draft transmittal letter that will go to the state if it is approved, a draft ordinance, and draft Chapter 10. This amendment to Florida statute requires local governments to adopt a private property rights to its comprehensive plan. And more simply put, the property rights element ensures that local governments are considering the property rights of its citizens in decision making. It just puts it into writing, so that's something formalized in the comprehensive plan.
Okay, thank you very much.
And to provide a little bit more clarification, today we're asking for your approval of the first reading of this ordinance, and we're asking for approval of the transmittal to the state.
Okay. All right, so we need, is there any questions? Any comments about property rights?
Michelle Moore. My question is, this is the first reading. Is there going to be a second reading before this is actually passed and put in the comp plan?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we actually need two separate motions here. One, if we accept for the first reading of the ordinance, and then a second motion for transmittal to the state.
Yes, sir.
So is there a motion to read by title only?
I'll make a motion to read ordinance 806 by title only.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please read.
Ordinance 806, an ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, amending the comprehensive plan of the City of Mexico Beach to include Chapter 10 as the property rights element pursuant under Florida State Statutes, Section 163.3177, repealing ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict, providing for severability and an effective date.
Right. All right, and then before we can do any more, we have to transmit the letter to the state and get their approval to do that. So is there a motion for a transmittal of the property rights letter that's attached?
Make a motion for the letter ordinance number 806 to the state of Florida.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Mr. Weller?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you vote on to approve the first reading of the ordinance?
We approved the first reading.
You have to vote to approve it.
Well, this is the first reading.
Yes, because it's going to the state, they need your approval of the first reading, as well as to approve transmittal to the state.
So we had to vote again.
Yes, please.
That's government right
You had a motion and a second, you read it. So I don't know.
Well, you normally don't approve the
Approve.
first reading.
there. What?
You normally don't do that. So,
We looking at you.
I know you are, and we've had this has come up before. When you have a motion, you generally, in a second, you generally have to vote to approve that. And I know that's the way you guys been doing it ever.
I think we're getting picky here. All right, we can vote to, we approve the transmittal of the letter. You want us, you say the state is gonna want to know that we approved
Yes.
the first reading.
You did the first reading, now you're gonna vote to approve the first reading.
Okay, I'm gonna go with you.
I'm just trying to make sure the bases are covered.
Okay, Chair will entertain a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 806.
I make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 804.
806.
806.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
You guys coached me up on this.
That's gonna be great.
All right, here we go. I'm sure the state will be pleased. All right. Number 6.
The next item on the agenda is the deductive change order for the 15th Street Bridge repairs. I have David from Dewberry here to present. We're actually in the process of closing out this contract. The contractor did not use the contingency money, therefore we need to reduce the overall contract so that we can close out this project. If there's any questions, he's here if you have any questions as well.
Okay, well, we see we've had your sheet here. We'll open a public discussion or comment from anyone about item number 6. Is there, David, anything I mean, it is what it is. Okay.
Under budget.
Under budget, all right. So this is a deductive approval for a change order. We don't often get those. So, if there are if there's no comments, we'll close that and go, is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the deductive change order on 15th Street Bridge. Can you give you the map?
You can, go ahead.
I'll have to look it up. 17,144.
Second.
$17,144.
I said, have a second?
Stamped already.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
All right.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next item on the agenda is a resolution 2301. It's for the disposition of our oldest trash truck that we replaced with our new one in the fleet this year. We have a standing contract with John Sewell to do an auction. So this item, this trash truck that you have a picture of has been sent to auction. It's waiting for your approval to actually auction it. My recommendation is whatever surplus we get from this item, we put with the additional $50,000 that the council approved to set aside for the next purchase of the next trash truck. So it'll just increase our funds. Hopefully we get $10,000 to $15,000, $20,000 for it. We'll see. I got my fingers crossed. I see you, Jerry.
You sure hope.
It ran. It drove really well all the way over there to the Mara. It'll help somebody out down the road, I hope. But
Okay.
we still have 3 in our fleet.
The vote here is for declaring it surplus, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the bottom.
So I can
That's what we normally
move
do.
on.
Okay, I think everyone heard that, about what we're doing, and, is there a motion to declare the 2008 International as surplus?
I'll make a motion to read resolution 23-01.
I second.
We have a motion and a second, please read.
Resolution 2301. A resolution of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida declaring certain property surplus, authorizing the sale or disposal, and revising master audit list to remove those items and other obsolete items and providing for an immediate effective date.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve
Second.
resolution 23-01.
And we have a second, call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
All right, staff, project list?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I got an update on some projects related to our FEMA projects and citywide projects here. In your list, you'll find a few. I would like to start with the 8th Street bathrooms, 7th Street, 8th Street right there. We put that out to bid. The bids came back, and we were working on a submittal to FEMA. Each one of the bids probably came in at about 10 times the amount of what FEMA gave us to replace them. For example, under the Palms Park, FEMA said you get $40,000 to replace what you had. The bid came in at almost $600,000, so bigger than that one. Parker Park pricing came in about just as high at Parker Park, $70,000 is what FEMA said we have for fencing and sidewalking and all those things, and it came in at $700,000. So we're going to take those 3 items, the bathrooms at 8th Street, Parker Park, and Under the Palms, and send that to FEMA with our 2 bids. We did receive 2 bids, which helps us. They were very competitive and very close. So we are not here to award a bid for that at all, but we're here to tell you that we're sending that to the FEMA to review so that they can give us a realistic number based on date and time to finish it. So I'll have more information for that down the road, but that is all 3 bathrooms at the same time. The 15th Street pedestrian bridge, we've had some movement on that. We're also going to continue to apply for appropriations this month, working through for that to ask for appropriations again for that, as well as our fire truck we asked for before. The 15th Street bathrooms, we've got a little bit of update. Tommy and his team went and cleaned out a good section next to the bridge where we can actually see what we're working with. So we're devising a plan on how we put in some bulkheads possibly. We've acquired some cross members that would go across for the span, and we could actually deck it, our in-house, do a decking with some arm rails. So I'm working on a bid to bring back to you guys for that. Option 2 is a little bit, it's more expensive, but it's more of a span bridge that comes in aluminum, and they just kind of set it down. So I have more information for you that in the future, but we are moving forward. Your direction was we can't just wait on somebody to give us money, so we need to come up with some options. So I've been working with Tommy and his team and some of the folks around town for that. The boat ramp expansion, the project is funded and it's out for bid. The bids are supposed to come back on January 24th. So we'll have more information that follows as soon as we see the bid, but that project is funded, so we'll see how it returns price-wise. The bypass pumps. We're working on an option to rebid this item. The last bid we came out was very similar to those bathrooms. It was far too high for what the state was going to give us for those generators. So we are in the process of working a new bid, whether it's installed by staff or a separate contractor for installing. We're working on a plan to bring back to you guys so that we can utilize these funds, but there was not enough compared to the price of the generators to do this project for what they offered us. The citywide stormwater repairs, just as an update, we've been working with the contractor GCUC that's moved over to 1st Street. They've worked on 15th Street and lined it up. There's still a few things that they have to clean up over there. Some of it is due to some pipes that are crushed, which is part of the 2nd phase that we have to fix. But our staff is also working with removing some of the pipes so the water continues to flow out at a couple spots it stands on 15th Street. So we're working with them on that. But over on 1st Street, they're working in that neighborhood by Florida and 1st and 386 to try to clean that up a little bit. We've approximately paid $650,000, or about half of what we've expended for them. So we still have much more work to do from those folks. So they're doing a good job and working with us very well. Phase 2 has come in. We're working on how we would send that to, I know I tell you I'm working on it, but we are working on it. We're working with the contractors to send that back to FEMA because figure out how we want to use that, whether it be a capped project or they didn't give us all the money that we wanted, so we're coming up with a plan to bring back to you guys for review for that. So for phase 2, which was Florida Avenue mostly, fixing that stormwater pipe, and so we're going to bring back a plan. David Engineering is reviewing that. The dredge purchase, as you know, it's scheduled for December of 2023 for delivery. We approximately paid about $100,000 for that so far, so we're starting to pay that off so that when it gets here, we have it already paid. The jetty, FEMA has asked for an environmental review last week. We did confirm with MRD, who is the contractor, that they have already done that environmental assessment, and they have forwarded it to us, and we forwarded that to the state. So FEMA has that for review, so we don't have any more hoops to jump through for that review. And we also expect to have the final permits. So we got the draft permits approved. We're waiting on the final permits to come in for about next month is what they expected to see the permits for that. So that would be the DEP permits. So that project is moving along. The marina and boat slips. I've been working with Sandy, with some local contractors on a plan to fund this project and bring back to you to put piles in at a couple more spots that we've talked about before. And then we can decide if we want to put in our own lifts as we go for that project. So I'm devising a plan to bring back to you guys so you guys can approve, tell me in the right direction or not, but we're working with some local contractors on some pricing to put in those piles. The next item is Parker Park. I already talked a little bit about that one. Do remember that we've already approved the playground that's going to go there, so we're kind of on hold to put that in because of the rest of the construction. We also are working with an option for a pavilion that you guys approved to put in some capital budget for this year. So that project is shaping up. However, we're on hold with FEMA. The Parker Park Waterway is still under review by the developer. They're working on their permits if they want to bring that back to us for review and approval. The pier. So FEMA has also asked for environmental assessment. BDI has sent that to us that they've already performed, and we forwarded that to FEMA for their review. So that'll help keep the ball rolling on the pier. So we were glad that we already did that assessment, so we're sending that on. The municipal fire complex. We received the 30% design plans today, and they'll be forwarded to the state for FEMA for review. They wanted to actually see the footprint of all the buildings, and you guys approved to have that done through Dewberry, and that has been transmitted to the state, to the FEMA. Sunset Park we discussed, excuse me, I did not. So we're working on a closeout. They received the final pay app. They do have a contract where they have to maintain the landscaping for 2 years. It started in August of this past year. So we're working on a final payout to bring that back to you, but that project is completed. The Surge Gate. The Surge Gate is under review for a possible combination with the regional stormwater plan. We may be able to combine funding for that to do something a little bit different to bring back for you guys, but I'm working with Ryan as well as the engineers and stuff for that option. Under the Palmsville Park we discussed, I'll keep you posted. We are looking at an option to go ahead and do some of the FERDAP AMP that we received. We have a time frame on that. I don't know off the top of my head when we have to have that done, but that would be the exercise equipment and the trail and starting to clean it up, and some it comes with some plants and things to clean up that park. So we're working on a possibility to utilize that $50,000 because it's away from wherever the bathrooms will be built. So we're devising a plan to get that to right back to you as well. Underwater debris approval. In the last meeting in December, you approved a contract with Atkins to monitor the project, and we're working on the rest of the task orders to bring back to council for approval. So that one is also moving along pretty well. I can open up to any questions that you have. I kind of rattled through them. I try to go as slow as possible.
Not specific to any that you just discussed, but something starting this year I'd like to see us do. I'd like to see some dates so that each time you talk about these, instead of saying we're working on them, that we have a plan, or at least if we take nothing else and categorize those that we're working on and what the progress that we're making on, but document it.
Okay.
So it's just not we're working on it.
That'll be easy for me to do. I do keep each one of these as I update.
I know you do. I've seen your notes on that.
I'll bring
I
it.
just would like to see us have a
Narrative.
maybe a schedule.
Okay.
Are you looking for like a spreadsheet timeline type update?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Project schedule. I can handle that.
Something more than
Just rambling.
than your, yeah.
I appreciate that. I don't like doing as much as you like
I want to be
hearing.
able to gauge where we are.
Okay. I'll get that. So we do only do this project list once a month, so I'll have that for the next agenda.
Yeah, well, no, that's right. We don't need it but once a month,
Yes, sir.
and so that we can ask what we're working on.
I understand.
Okay. Questions for the administrator? Yes, Rob.
Let me ask you a question. I haven't seen anything with any of these developments that have been approved for a long time. We have 3 of them on 15th Street. You have the canals back here, another 100 and something homes. And then you had behind Killer where they plowed all the dirt down, a whole bunch of acres back there. Where are them projects at? I mean, has everything been placed on hold because of that? But interesting to know what's happening with these developments.
I can update if you like.
Yeah, go ahead.
They did that project behind Killer that you're talking about. That house sold. They actually paid us our code fines that we had on that. They were demolishing that house that was there. I have no plans about anything in the future for that that's been given to me. The ones on 15th Street, we'll start with where the dirt is. There where the SCE is presented, is working on a new engineered plans to come back. They had done an assessment for the wetlands, which allowed them to have more property than they thought they had available. So they were able to spread that dirt out so that it didn't look such an eyesore for us. And they have they're working on an expedited time frame with a new contractor, and he is supposed to get back very quickly with us with a new game plan, but they had to overlay the site plan again, so they're coming back to us and it's going to show us any changes they have in those departments, but that'll go back through P&Z. That will not come straight to the council because it's not been approved other than conceptually. The other one, further down, there was 16 duplexes that was also brought to us by SCP. I think it's Mike Harrell. It was 8 duplexes, two in each one. Nothing else has materialized for that to date to me. Where's the third? The third one is all the way at the end where we had the lawsuit at one time, next to Paradise Cove. They're going through making the recommendations that you guys made us for preliminary review to bring back for they can get their permits to move forward with their project. So those are the 3 on 15th, and they're all in the developer's hands right now, not ours. That's all I got.
Yeah, Rock, one of the things that happens a lot in this town, somebody mentions that something's gonna get done, and they make the assumption that we know. We don't know. If they don't turn in any paperwork or request a development order, it's speculation to us just like it is to you. So that's why there's nothing to report.
Well, that's actually good. I think we like that report. It's pushing it back some.
All right, any question, on any of the projects, anybody?
I got, it's with you or David going, the bathroom, are they separate or are they together? I think we went through this one time and just.
The three different bathrooms?
Yeah, or didn't you say
We bid them all out separate. We bid them all out together, but there's 3 separate projects within there for FEMA for tracking. So we could figure out how we bid them to do them all at the same time, but we had to have them bid separately for the cost wise to give to FEMA. And I think that's probably why we got 2 contractors to bid on it, because it was a larger project.
That's a lot for a bathroom.
Yeah, I love the bathroom.
It's a whole lot.
As my mayor, I'd like to have that update in writing from you and David about, because I remember before October, November, we was going through this, and I think you or David once said we was sending the bids out. Well, this is January.
We got the bids back and they were enormous. I don't disagree with you. It is.
We need bathrooms.
Okay. Anybody else from town? All right. Moving on. Come on. You wanna just stay on the, I mean, you're up. Well, no, city, yeah, you're up again. Staff.
Haven't heard enough from me.
Well,
I do have a couple little things to let you know about coming events, sir. The first thing is I'd just like to recognize Tim Linderman, who is part of our P&Z board, also does some grant writing and helping with us. He put an application together with myself and to apply to become a tree city. So Mexico Beach has been approved and awarded as a tree city. That's very proud for us considering how much tree cover we lost during the hurricane. So we're doing everything we can to help get more grants to put more trees back into the city. So we've got some signs that are going to go up on each end of town. We'll do a proclamation again later this year. And to date, we have scheduled for January 21st, which is a Saturday morning. We're going to put this out on the internet as well. But we're going to do a tree giveaway again, just like we did last year, for the residents of Mexico Beach. So those will be handed out at Parker Park on the 21st from 9 to 11. So much more information for that for our residents. So that's a good benefit. It's also a requirement for us to be a tree city to continue to add trees to our landscape. So we continue to do that as well. So I think that's going to be a great event coming up, and I'll get more information to you as it comes up.
Do we know what kind of trees?
Yes, available trees. We have live oaks, red buds, and Dahoon hollies. So no pine trees. I think that was the request.
No pine.
that was my only stipulation. But again, thanks to Tim for helping us get that. They gave us a nice flag and a plaque, and we're very proud for that. So the hashtag is going to be ReTreeMB, so ReTree Mexico Beach. So that's our game. So that does help us get more grants by being a tree city, so that's why we do what we do for that. So Arbor Day celebration will be on the 21st of January at Parker Park. Also, just as an update, Martin Luther King Day is coming up. The City Hall will be closed on that Monday morning, the 17th. We will be running trash pickup Tuesday, Wednesday will be the Monday, Tuesday pickup, so trash will ship 2 days. The trash will not be picked up on Monday. We also have completed a calendar that we're putting on our internet. It was a good suggestion by some residents, so that we don't have to catch us off guard on what's going on with our trash pickup. So we'll have that outlined for the entire year on the website. So if you're out of town or whatever, or somebody's in your place or something, you can know what the trash schedule is going to change. So that'll be on here, so we don't have to guesswork on what we're going to do right before the holiday. We have it mapped out for the entire year. You'll see that a lot more with us on getting our schedules together so that you guys can see and everybody in the residence can see what we're doing up front. That does lead me into the next conversation. There was a lot of chatter yesterday on the internet related to the Bears and some trash that was torn up, Oleander, 30th Street, a couple other spots. I was flagged down by our local lieutenant asking about what was going on there with the trash, and he had seen a lot of it as well. And they actually came by. They didn't issue any citations or anything like that today. They're just kind of making awareness. FWC is just kind of letting people know, whether it's an Airbnb that's rented that's putting it out on Sunday night and the Bears are tearing it up all down Oleander. But he's making it aware, making those owners aware that you have to lock up your trash. If there's some kind of need that you need to bring it by City Hall, we can accept that trash for you during the work week. But for that, we just have to be careful because these bears there's a lot of them right now. I think I heard 17 or some large number because of the cubs that were born. So they're everywhere. So just be on the lookout. If you talk to any of your friends and neighbors, to make sure they lock their trash up at night because those bears are bulking up, is what Mike Guy told me. They're bulking up for the cold weather. So that's my only comments about the bears. Thank you, guys.
That it?
Yes, sir.
Bet you have anything?
Nothing specific, man.
Nothing?
I got one for once.
Go.
We were blessed with a winter wonderland for Christmas this year. It was not natural. It was water breaks all over town. So I want to give a kudos to the fire department, the water department, Jason, Sandy. I had the pleasure of being on a cruise ship when it was hitting the fan. But I got to tell you, every time I called, Jason answered. That kid worked all day on Christmas Day. And it was pleasant, it was friendly. I called in the morning, I called in the afternoon, same guy, same conversation. Just kudos to them, they were like little elves fixing all of our water breaks on Christmas Day.
If I can add real quick, there was a lot of residents that helped out, that kind of stepped up, and council members at this table that were calling and working and fixing pipes. So it was a big team effort. You guys all should be applauded for that.
Be careful what we wish for when we want a Christmas in
That's
Florida.
right, absolutely. Rich, you have anything?
Well, the only thing, just Doug, thanks for getting that in, the staff and everybody, that good speakers and that new
Yeah.
projector, hopefully it works out well.
First two.
BIT was here and they're here today, couple to make sure it runs right the first time, so we don't get off on the wrong foot with them. But I thank you guys for the opportunity. It's going to be a great improvement for our residents that watch it from home.
Was this used last night?
It was not.
Okay.
It was. They wanted to be here to run it the first time, so we used our old system, and it actually worked. The old system worked last night, thank God. Tammy didn't have to hold her phone up.
I'm good. I have one thing. This is a long, months-old project that I have been working on, and I wanted y'all to see these. Pass that over there, Gary. There's Rich. Pass one down there, Clint. Just so everybody can see one. This is a commemorative coin that we put together with help from Julie, Sandy, others have. It's something that I thought the city has needed for a long time to be able to give, especially anyone that's visiting or at a meeting. If you're out and about and run across or go somewhere and you want people to remember where you came from. So I just wanted you to see this and use it when the time calls, and I think it's I was very pleased with the way it turned out. I think, do we have any chance of putting that on the screen? I mean, we just finished this before I walked in here. So is there a way to show
You want
people
the
what we're
picture?
looking at?
The picture of the coin itself?
Yeah, do you have that?
If you give me a second, I'm sure I've got it in my
Well, I didn't think
email.
of it till right now.
But give me
so
one sec, I can see if I can find it.
That is nice.
It's gonna be,
Very classy, Mayor. Very classy.
it's gonna be, I think that'll serve us well as we.
Mayor, if I could just, a completely different thing altogether, I would just like to thank all the people that came to the tree lighting ceremony, left some toys for the fire department to give out on Christmas Day. It was a great success. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, a little bit cold. Some of those faces made it all worthwhile. So a big thank you to you, for those donations that enabled us to do it. So it was a lot of fun, and we're going to do it again as we have done for many years in the past, hopefully for many years in the future. So thank you.
Okay. While she's doing that, Jerry, you got anything?
Yes, I do. Mine's gonna be a little longer.
That's fine. She's working on it.
Okay, Jill, let me know, Julie, I get to.
Yeah, go right ahead. It may
I
take me a
want
minute.
the Winter Wonderland, is that what you said? Yeah, I was here. Oh, yeah, at Christmas. But it started with Kathy Lyons, I think was Diane with you, riding around to start with, and we found all these, but I want just people that was connected with me. It started, and then like I said, I called Jason and Gary, and then the old man. Us, and that Josh McCoy was a plumber that come out on Christmas Day.
Yep.
A 4-inch busted water line at Rustic Sands, 4-inch busted line at the, and the one across from where Killers is, me and Garrett cut it off, it was shooting above the condo. Donnie Walker, Jay Cooksey, I can't leave out our sheriff's department. I give them a key to cut the water off, Mark and Martin. And I got to thank my boss man at Wallace Pump for letting me donate that record. I didn't get no money out of it. Maybe they called y'all too. And Johnny Mize Plumbing, and that Josh McCoy boy that come there that night, that plumber and helped us with the city and them, he really did come in. But these people went out of their way. And that's one more thing. I called old Garrett on Christmas Day and I heard his kids in the background. You talking about feeling bad. Here I am, I ain't got no grandyoung, was that young. So I said, I'm not calling you no more. So I waited till the next day. But him and, we got it fixed and we all come together and I'm proud of what we did. I cut off 41. That the busted tires that we did. But it was good. And Garrett and the old man, hell, they need to be commended because he was out there with me, fixing the busted pipe at 8 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Good job. It was.
All right.
I saw like that.
Do you have any luck?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Really?
You're part of it.
Well, anyway, that was, for those out there, we're trying to put it online so everybody will see it. Oh, there you go. There you go.
They're sideways.
Better than nothing, Jim.
Better than nothing. There you go. Thank you everyone for coming. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All right. Oh, by the way, we're going to meeting tonight at 6 o'clock.